Hi, I'm Jean Nolte, editor at Fons & Porter.
And I'm Colleen Tauke. I'm the sewing specialist at Fons & Porter. In this tutorial, we will show you the steps in making the quilt called London Lawns.
This is a beautiful floral quilt, and these fabrics are so soft. It makes a great quilt. We started with 2.5-inch strips, and then just a dark blue floral for the sashing and the borders. So if you'd like to get the pattern for this quilt, visit our website. The first thing we need to do is make strip sets. So if you can look here, you'll see there are 2 different kinds. And this one has 3 creams and 2 florals, and this one has 3 florals and 2 creams. So you make a bunch of strip sets, and then we're going to cut segments from them. And I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to line these up, and you'll see this end is all kind of not straightened up yet, but I'm going to put one on top of the other and just make them parallel to one another. And I want to cut 2.5-inch segments off of here. But since this end is not good, I'm going to what we call overcut. So I'm going to see where my 2.5-inch line is and make sure it's inside of all of the raw edges here. And then I'm going to just make a cut that's a little bit bigger than 2.5 inches. Then I can pull these just out of the way a little bit. Then I turn this around. I have a nice straight edge here, and then I'll cut my 2.5 inches from that. Now, that way you don't have to turn that whole great big strip around. So then you would just continue measuring 2.5 inches along here and cutting more segments until you get to the end.
Now, after making 2 or 3 cuts, you may find that this angle is not a perfect straight angle or right angle anymore, so you may need to go back and clean up the end. It's just one of those little things that keep your cutting to be accurate.
All right. The other thing that you will notice here is when we made these strip sets, we always pressed toward the floral fabrics, and that way when we go to join these pieces now, they're going to nest perfectly. So what you're going to do is take one of each kind and join them, and you'll see when we do that, that the seams are perfectly opposing. Now, would you pin that or just sew it?
Not with this one. I think with all those opposing seams, they'll lock up for me, and I won't need to worry about it. You always have the option to pin, though, if that's your comfort zone. The nice part about all those seams is it does keep it really accurate because you're adjusting at each intersection. I usually kind of find that between my fingers and kind of hold it in place. And as I get to it, work to the next one, and work your way all the way along.
You can feel that they're nested together perfectly.
Exactly. And because there are so many seams in these units, you're going to want that pressing technique of opposing seams.
Right. So then you would just keep joining pairs, and then what you're going to do is join 2 of those pairs to make this unit right here.
Now, these are the same fabrics, so you can see that how we actually constructed them. But because you're going to be making so many sets of strip sets, you can make it more scrappy.
So you can see that here, where these 2 rows are not the same as these 2 rows. So you're going to have to make 50 of these row units, and then you're basically done except for assembling your quilt. So if you look at the quilt, you can see that it's joined into 5 rows with 10 of these units in each row, and then you have the vertical sashing strips, and last you just put on the top and bottom border.
Makes a gorgeous quilt.
To see more of our video tutorials, visit our website.
Thanks for joining us.